just showing a few different issues that happen with these doors. So often you'll have this latch getting stuck or difficult to open. That can be for a number of different reasons. So if people are having a hard time pushing down on the button from the ice side and opening the latch, different thing that can be happening. It can be that like this is galvanized, so sometimes the galvanized flakes off and it leaves kind of a rough spot. So if you look at like this here, that's a good example of chipped galvanization that's now leaving a rough spot. So if you have one of those rough spots here, or also in here, those can cause for it to stick. So right now, like feeling this, that's actually fairly smooth. There's definitely a smoother area here and a rougher area here. So this could be like sort of sanded a little bit, polished up to make that a little bit smoother. And then also, like if I feel in there, you can check for rough spots there, which you would need to file smooth. That actually feels pretty okay. There's a little bit of a rough spot on that side there. But in this particular case, I don't think that any of those, and then also you can see this is a poor design. The way this is going in like this, it should be squared, but they tried to do it the fast and cheap way, and so that also will stick in the up position. Now there's you know, you could try and fix all those things, but really in this particular case, it looks like one of the real main issues is actually that you can see the door is sitting low here. And that's just because over time, these wear down. And so you can see it's sitting low on this side as well. And so this has already been shimmed once with these thin washers. You see both top and bottom have some shims in them. And that's to help account for the wear. So if you look here, you can see this kind of like the metal kind of peeling out almost, that's the way to describe it. So that is happening from this just rubbing on this and wearing down. Depending on if it's been adjusted before or not, you can loosen these off and you can move this whole bracket up and then tighten that up, and that can raise it up that way if there's still space in there. But if all the space in that hole, because this hole is a little bit bigger than these, if that space has already been used up and that's already been moved up, then you have to resort to spacers. And you can see these spacers aren't that thick. So then this is just a 3/4 inch lock washer. What the best thing to do is to, so I had to bend this and straighten to get it straight, because normally these are rather offset. And the best thing to do is to actually weld this gap and then file it, use like a die grinder and make it smooth, so that way you get rid of that gap, because that gap has got sharp edges, and those sharp edges are going to cause this and this to wear down faster. So ideally you want to eliminate those sharp edges and have that flat before you replace this thinner one with this thicker one. In order to, and so by doing that, so you can see you bring this door up flush with this door. What that will do is, so right now you can see this is hitting this weld right here. So see how that's kind of curved, and that's keeping this door latch closure away from this. So what that means is that when this is closed, this pressing against this weld, instead of sitting flush in here, this pressure here is putting pressure onto this. And so by this putting pressure onto this, it's making it hard for this to pop this out of place, because it's got tension on it. And you can see that tension is actually what's causing this wear here. If it didn't have this hitting this was sitting up higher, then this wouldn't be putting this tension onto here and causing this to wear down. And that is what makes it so sticky for this button and the button is hard for people to press when they're on the ice. So it seems odd, but the correct way to fix this sticky button is to fix the spacing on the hinges. And so the best way to do that, these are actually mine, but I just wanted to test them out before I ordered a pair for here. Previously I was using a floor jack for this, and this is definitely a much easier way. So you can just jack these up and make it flush. So with taking the weight off these, that's going to take the weight off of this. It's going to make it easier to remove this. And then you can pull this out, remove this, put in the thicker washers. We still need to get these ones welded and grinded, but we can put in these thicker washers here, and then thicker washer down here, so you can hear how loose that is, so it makes it easier to take it out. Replace the thicker washer there, and then that will eliminate this droop that we have in the door. So now you can see this is sitting up flush by using these clamps, and now you can see that this has now got the space, and this is sitting tight to here. And look at that. See how much easier that opens now? Now, with the door sitting in the correct place, you can press the button and the latch goes up no problem. So that is sort of some of the stuff you need to look at when you're having issues with these doors. A couple other things that can happen, but I've mostly remedied this on all the doors now. So this originally had a lot of play in it, so it would sort of like turn this way and cause it to kind of stick and catch here and jam in here and everything. So by replacing this used to just all be kind of loose with a bunch of washers in it, with replacing the washers with these, so this is full threaded, using bolt through from this side, lock washer there, lock washers here and here, because you want to keep the spacing here just right, so that this has got enough tension that it doesn't have too much play. That's got a little bit of play, but you don't want too much play here, but you also don't want it too tight, because if it's too tight, then it won't allow it to go up and down so smoothly. So it was probably already 15 years ago that I changed this to these. Eventually that hardware is going to wear out, and you'll probably have to replace both the bolt and the nuts. And you know, this is probably already worn through the threads, but you can feel like it moves really smoothly as long as this is flush and where it's sitting. So I will order a set of these construction jacks for the rec center and take mine back home. But that's basically the process for fixing that type of issue with the doors. I hope that's helpful.